Hey folks, I wanted to do a demo for you today of a new feature we've just launched for SleepHQ, and that is the ability to edit your session times. A lot of people have been requesting this feature because they've noticed that their charts in SleepHQ are not necessarily entirely accurate with when they went to bed or when they used their CPAP machine. And there's a whole host of reasons for why that might be the case. We've got some information in the help center of SleepHQ that can give you some tips and tricks on how to fix your settings if you've got them set wrong either on your CPAP machine or on SleepHQ itself. But there are some issues that you can't fix by just changing settings. For example, some of the CPAP machines just don't deal with daylight savings correctly, so your times are always going to be out by an hour for at least 6 months of the year. So in order to compensate for that, what we're now doing is allowing you to edit your session times directly in SleepHQ after you've imported your data. Very soon you're going to be able to import data from your oximetry ring into SleepHQ as well as your CPAP data. Now, in order for all of your charts to line up between your oximetry and your CPAP data, you're going to need to make sure that your session times are accurate. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to walk you through the new feature, show you how to edit your session times in SleepHQ, and then I'm going to give you a little preview of what that's going to look like when you can import oximetry data as well, and what you can do to make sure that your oximetry and your CPAP data is all lined up accurately. So let's get to it. Okay, so I'm logged into SleepHQ. I put my CPAP mask on before for about 10 minutes, so I've got some demo data in here, and I also put on an oximetry ring at the same time. Now, if I scroll down here, I'm looking at my CPAP data at the moment, and it's showing me that my session time started at 3:17. Now, I know that's wrong because I checked the times when I put my mask on. It's off by about 3 or 4 minutes. And what I can do, if I scroll down here, I've also imported my oximetry data. So we've got 3 new charts that we now show. Pulse rate, SpO2 and movement, they're the 3 metrics that are tracked by the oximetry ring, and you'll notice that all I'm seeing is just the very end of them. Now, I put the O2 ring on at about the same time as the CPAP machine, and so what's happening is they're out of sync. So let me show you what we can do about that. I can select which device I want to view from this menu up the top here. So right now I'm looking at my CPAP machine and it's trying to line up the oximetry data as best it can. But if I want to just have a look at my oximetry data, I select my O2 ring, and now I can see my oximetry data in isolation. So I can see that my oximetry data starts at 3:12 and 55 seconds. So those times are pretty much accurate because the ring was synced to my phone before I started. The CPAP times, which I did put on at the same time, are showing that it started at 3:17 roughly. So we're about 4 minutes out of sync. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my CPAP session times back by about 4 minutes so they line up. So to do that, we've got this 3-dot menu at the top, and there's a new option called Edit Session Times up there now. So I'm going to click on that one. And from this screen now, I can enter a time offset. So this is just the number of seconds that you want to move your CPAP data by. It can be a positive or negative number. So negative will move it backwards, positive will move it forwards. We want to move my data back by about 4 minutes. So let's say that we're going to do minus 240. And down here it tells me that I'm moving my sessions backwards by 0 hours, 4 minutes and 0 seconds. It also shows me the original start time and the new start time. So I can see that that's about where it should be. So let's update that session time and see how it changes the graphs. Now, it takes a few seconds to process in the background. So while it's running, I just have to click that little click here button to see if it's finished. And there we go, that's done now. So now, when I look at my CPAP charts, they're starting at 3:13, just past 3:13. And if I scroll down, now my oximetry data is closer to lining up. However, it's still not quite accurate. Now, let's say that I wanted to move my oximetry data instead. One thing to note is when I'm looking at this page and I edit my session times, I'm only editing the CPAP data. Even though I can see the oximetry data on this page, obviously we don't want to move them both because then they're still going to be out of sync with each other. So if I want to move my oximetry data, I swap across to my O2 ring and say edit session times. And I'm actually going to push this one forward by 30 seconds. So let's do that. So we're going to enter positive 30 as the time offset there. And there we go. That one happened fast enough that by the time I got back to this page, the charts had already updated. So there was no delay there. If I go back now to my CPAP machine and scroll down to my oximetry charts, there we go. You can see that now my oximetry data starts just after my CPAP data, which is about right because I put my CPAP mask on and then I put the oximetry ring on. So now I've got all of my oximetry and CPAP data lined up correctly, and I can view everything all on the one screen, or if I just want to view my oximetry data, I can swap across to my O2 ring. So the edit session times feature is now live. Everyone can use that to update your session times if you need to. So you can correct your session times if they're just out by a few minutes, or you can sort of correct them by an hour if your CPAP machine is not recording daylight savings correctly. You can change them by as much or as little as you need to. Adding the oximetry data is coming soon, so we're going to be releasing that one. We're currently finishing up beta testing. It's working really well. We've got it pretty much all wrapped up. So we're going to finish beta testing for that one, and we'll get that launched very soon. So I think that's about it for today. Thanks guys, I'll catch you all soon.